Hello and welcome. We are getting ready for the foundational week of the Chakra Embodiment Healing Program. And because this program is a healing journey, there's going to be a lot of information that's coming in to you. And some of it can feel a bit overwhelming. And it's just because there's just the tip of the iceberg. And so I don't want you to ever have that feeling of overwhelm. So, doing this program over and over, I've learned that this week is a gift. This week is intention setting. This week is allowing you to figure out what you want to do and where you want to heal and how you want to move forward. With all healing journeys, the one thing I always say is if you can't, don't. I'm simply putting out information and ideas and suggestions that have helped me in my healing journey. If something doesn't feel quite right to you, don't do it. If you're having a hard time with something, you're trying it, but it's not quite fitting, just observe that for whatever that means, but don't worry about it. There will be little things that'll be aha moments for you. And those are the things that I want you to say yes and follow those paths naturally. The beautiful thing about this program is you can do it multiple times, and I certainly have. And each time I do this program, I go deeper in my own healing journey. I learn more, and I also focus on slightly different aspects. So let me tell you a little bit about the program. So I have been studying chakras and the spiritual path my whole life in many regards. I was 9 years old and I went on a healing retreat with monks and we talked about chakras and mandalas. So I can say that. I didn't understand what it meant at the time, though now looking back on it, I go, oh, that's what I was learning. So what we're looking at is energetic centers, and we're learning how to heal ourselves. My intention for you doing this program is that by the end of this program, you will feel empowered on your own healing journey. And I am facilitating you in finding your own guru, your own inner healer, your own inner self. About 2008, I became a Reiki master. I started studying Reiki. And at that point, I was a method actress. I was studying in New York. So I was very much so be the character. And my Reiki master was talking about chakras, and I couldn't quite see them. My clairvoyant wasn't there where I didn't see red. I didn't understand exactly what I was doing when I was doing the healing. So I thought, well, what is a chakra? What does root chakra mean? And as I started my own Reiki practice, I took my teachings and methodology of being an actress to chakras. So what I did was I embodied the root chakra. And what does that mean? Well, for me, it started off with color. I'm very affected by color. I've worked in the theater with light design and scenic design, costume designing. Color is such an important aspect of that. So the color of the root chakra, for example, is red. So the first thing I did was I wore the color red for a week. Wow, what a difference that made and how I felt. And, it being so bright and visible in a world, especially in New York City at the time, that's so black. No one wears color. So when you wear red, you pop out. And then I wore orange. What a different feeling that was. Different shades of orange, different feelings that came from it. Then I wore yellow, the solar plexus, and green and blue, and so on, all the way through the chakras. And I noticed how those colors changed how I felt. They changed energetically how I interacted with the world. So, one of the chakra embodiment components is simply going through your closet and looking right now, what colors do you have in your closet? I'm not saying you have to go out and buy a bunch of clothes. I don't want you to do that. If you have all black and gray and blue and a little bit of purple, that's okay. Notice it, observe it. Huh, isn't that interesting that I have A lot of yellow in my closet and no red. What does that mean? Don't worry about what it means. Just kind of organize your closet. One of the first things I do is I go through and put all your reds together, put all your oranges together, put all your yellows together, greens, light blues, dark blues, purples, whites. Kind of separate the colors out. That way, when you're going through the chakra program, when you're focusing on that chakra, you can possibly wear one of those shirts. Now, if you don't have the clothes, don't worry about it. If you do, wear them. Absolutely. You might, and if you feel inspired, buy it. It's okay. I know people, one of the people who went through my program was a nurse, and so she had to wear scrubs, but she treated herself and went and bought special underwear, bra and underwears that matched. And she told me how much that made her feel sexy and connected to her body in a different way. So put that out there. I know someone else who only did their nail polish. They did red, then yellow. So that's another way to do it. It's just a simple way of connecting into that frequency, that vibration of the color. Notice also, go around your house. What colors do you have painted in your house? Do you have a lot of oranges, a lot of yellows? Do you have a lot of blues? Do you have a lot of greens? Do you have any reds? Think about your home and the way that you've energetically designed your house in terms of color. That is going to be something for you to notice as we go through the healing journeys, that you might start to understand why, for example, you painted an office green instead of blue. And this is just about observing your life, observing your frequency, observing where you are, and taking note of the world around you and how you're connected to it. One of the things that I think is so important in healing is journal writing. I am a very avid writer. I do gratitude journals. I have daily journals. I have just journals. I just love them. I've always had them since I was a young girl around 12. In this program, I say journal. I don't care what that means to you. It's really just about connecting in with yourself and your higher self on a daily basis, how you're feeling, what triggered you, what reactions did you have, what did you notice that you don't normally notice. One routine, I will send some affirmations and some prompts that you can work on, absolutely, that are connected with each chakra. But if you're just overall, in the morning, start with gratitude, connected to the things that we're learning with that chakra. Start by writing down your dreams. Take 10 minutes, just put on a little timer for 10 minutes and just write. Write anything that you see. I see that the sun is rising out of that window. I hear the coffee perking in the other room. My cat is annoying me right now because my cat is crying. Oh dear, did I go take out the trash? Whatever that is, it's going to feel like gobbledygook. But every once in a while, there's going to be a sentence that you write in there if you truly don't edit what you're saying. Every once in a while, there's going to be a sentence in there that's coming in as wisdom from your higher self. So after you write for 10 minutes, close the book, don't worry about it. At night, before you go to bed, go through that writing and just highlight anything that might be a possible message or a possible note. If there's nothing, don't worry about it. Also, as we are going through this embodiment program, one of the components that I have that you don't have to do at all, keep in mind, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a doctor. This is just how I've noticed to connect to chakras, is through food, because we are what we eat and each food has its own signature. I'll be sending you all the different foods that are connected with each chakras. You can go grocery shopping. You'll have time to plan and prepare for that. But because each chakra has foods that are connected to it, at the end of the night, you can write down what you ate that day. So let's talk a little bit about the food component, because that's the part that most people get a little bit nervous about, or weirded out about. So I am not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. However, I am connected to food because I think about it all the time. I relate to this world very much so through food as a mother as well, cooking food and giving it to my children. There is a mind, body, spirit connection here with what we put into our mouths. And I'm not saying, and I'm not putting it out there that I eat perfectly, because I don't. But I do, and I know how with this chakra embodiment program, I know how to mindfully eat and what the food is telling me as messages. So, with the root chakra, for example, is all about foundation. It's about survival. So, we are going to eat in the root chakra proteins and root vegetables. So, you've got your meat and potatoes here. One thing I want you to kind of think about in this program is to kind of be pulling carbs back a little bit, and to be pulling sugars back a little bit. So you can actually focus on the foods or the gifts from each chakra, which are different. Solar plexus is going to be more of your carbs and pastas. So if you can kind of pull these things and isolate them out, you're going to notice how your body relates to these different foods, and you're going to notice how these different foods affect you energetically, rather than just whatever, eating anything, putting anything in your mouth and not paying attention to it. This is, if you think about it in many ways, it's intuitive eating. It's chakra connected. I like to joke with my husband that I'm a chakratarian. I eat all different kinds of food, and he's always like, "What are you eating now? I can't keep track of it." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm in my throat chakra." So, it's a joke around the house. What is Paige eating right now? It depends on where I am in the chakras, or it depends on what chakra I feel needs healing right now. And that's the chakra I'm connecting to. You notice I'm wearing purple today. So I'm feeling a disconnect with my crown chakra right now. So I'm wearing purple and I'm connecting to my crown chakra that way. I do that daily. A lot of the people that do this program, you're going to find little things that really work for you, and other things just quite aren't. One of my friends who finished the program said, "I never would have worn yellow, Paige, if I hadn't met you. And now it's really helping me with my career." And she's had promotion after promotion, and she's doing great. And a lot of it's because she was able to kind of connect into that bright yellow aspect of her personality and really take command with it. So with this program, there will be, if you do some of the food programs, there will be a natural detox that occurs, because as you get up into the crown chakra, you're going to be more fasting. So like I said, if you can't do fasting, don't do it. Just be mindful about the food that you're eating, noticing the connections to it, noticing the energetics. This is mainly about you noticing the connections between one and the other, right? And you will use this program however you see fit. Always check in with your higher guides, always check in with yourself, and trust yourself. You have discernment, you have wisdom, you have guidance. If it is not good for you to stop drinking caffeine, don't. Just because I suggest it as a possibility doesn't mean that it's something you have to do to be successful in this program, because you don't. That being said, we will each week, what will happen as we go through this program, I will give you the 101s about the different chakras. What does the word in Sanskrit mean? What does the symbol mean? What does the color mean? What is its element? How can we connect to the chakra in our bodies physically? What does it mean if it's in balance or out of balance? We will be connecting to the chakra through sound, through movement, through frequency, through dance, through all different aspects. And you will find which works better for you. Now, I also do a lot of work with crystals and essential oils. Now, these are what's called subtle energies. And if you don't have these items, don't worry about it, though I will say they are a beautiful aspect. I can give you leads on purchasing crystals. I make my own essential oil blends, so if you want them, you can add that to the course as well. One thing that you can add to the course that I highly recommend is a one-on-one session with me at each chakra. So that way I can check in with you. I can see where you are, where you're struggling, answer any questions that you have, and give you a healing session that will harmonize and balance that chakra. So it will be and a healing session, but we'll be focusing on really connecting you and activating that chakra within you. So like I said, that is an add-on part of the course, and I highly recommend that everyone does that. Of course, I, throughout my life, have been in different places financially, emotionally, time-wise. So you're going to do what works best for you. Okay. And if you want to schedule these later or at a different time, then you'll just reach out to me. But again, you'll find out what works best for you as we go along. There is a lot of information in this program in terms of emails and YouTube videos. So you can just kind of watch these as you go and then see how it goes. I've done a lot of these videos. I've taught this course so many times over the years. So some will have slightly more videos than others just because those have been questions that have been asked to me in sessions or in our Facebook group that I've answered. So you might notice things like that. Also, I will invite you to the Facebook private community. That's for everybody who's done this program before and is rebooting at any time. Once you're in the program, you're always in the program. And you've always got a resource. If you ever want to do a reboot, you can say, hey, friends, I want to do a reboot. Who's in with me? And you might get a few people to kind of tag on. Or if you need a specific question to me where you're like, hey, Paige, I'm really not sure why I'm crying this week. What's going on? Then we can touch base. Is it astrological? Is it energetic with the chakra? What's going on? You'll have some one-on-one feedback with myself and with others who have been through the program itself. So this week, start setting your intentions for a healing journey. Start going through your closets and organizing your closets into colors. Also, go through your crystals if you have any to see if you have any red or black crystals that are connected to the root chakra. Kind of getting your world organized when you're thinking about color. These are the red crystals. These are orange. These are yellow. Just put them in a bowl. You don't even need to know what they are. Start thinking about essential oils or different soaps or washcloths that you want to be able to connect to the chakras that way. The baths and bubble baths, I make bath salts as well. Sound toning, yes, exactly. There's frequencies that you can listen to on YouTube that have the frequency of each chakra. There are mudras that are connected to them that you can add to meditation. There are affirmations that go with each chakra. So you can write those affirmations down in a journal or you can say them out loud as you go. You can do a lot of different sounds, movement modalities. In terms of oils, I will be sending you each week as we go along. I'm going to be sending you a breakdown of this is the root chakra, and these are the crystals, and these are the yoga poses, and these are the oils. I have that all broken down into PDFs that I'll email to you. But because we are starting with the program and we're kind of getting our head around it, let's start with kind of focusing a little bit about the root chakra just for now. So root chakra is called Muladhara, or foundation or base in Sanskrit. And keep in mind, this is not my culture, so I very well might be saying the words wrong. I haven't been to India yet, but someday I will. So the symbol for the root chakra is a 4-petaled lotus with a square and a triangle that is facing down. So the square is the foundation. So we've heard that our whole life, right? In the box, out of the box, all of these things matter. But it's basically the 4 corners, the 4 walls for survival, right? The 4 petals. This is survival. This is safety. This is protection. This is lust, right? This like this is just our ancestors when they were just surviving, right? This is what we came from. That reptilian brain that might not serve us much now certainly served our ancestors back then. And that is the root chakra. So in the root chakra, there are 4 seasons, right? There are 4 petals, there are 4 walls, there are, we have different phases of our life. So that's what that 4 means. That's what that square means. It's foundations, it's base, it's security. The downward pointing triangle, think about it this way, this is our energy going down deep into the earth, where the point or the apex of the triangle is pointed down into the earth. And right at our shoulders, when we put our arms out wide, that's like the top of the triangle. And that's our energy. We're focusing on survival, which is head down. And we're connecting into the earth because we have to be of the earth and connected to the earth. We have to be eating, we have to be warm, we have to be sheltered, we have to have the material supplies that we need to cook and hunt and provide, right? In our world as it is now, that we don't have to necessarily hunt to survive, we do have to have the material energetic exchange, which is called money, to go back and forth. So all of these things can affect your feelings of safety and survival in this world. And someone who is incredibly rich can also have an imbalanced root chakra. So don't think that just because you are having a hard time financially that your root chakra is completely off balance because of that, right? It has so many different components, though I will say, when I focus on my root chakra, when I really ground in, when I'm really focused on that energy, I do feel more safe. I feel more worthy. I feel more able to move through this world with grace and ease. So in the root chakra, again, its color is red. So energetically, red is a primal color. It's survival, right? It is what keeps us going. Now, our ancestors, if you think about it, would hunt, and they would gather possibly small foods here and there, but in general, they would kill something and they would survive off of its meat for a while, and then they would go however long without food again. So we also have the winter, where there's not a lot of food that's out there. So what are you going to eat if there's no food? If you're right now, I'm in New Hampshire, there's no soil, there's nothing exposed, it's just snow and ice. So what are we surviving on? We're surviving on potatoes and root vegetables that are in our cellar that we've stored. So again, this root chakra is survival. This root chakra is getting through the winter. Its element is earth, so it's connecting you to the outside, to the earth, to Pachamama, Mother Earth. So as much as you can be outside during the root chakra, that's going to be great for you. If you live in a climate unlike mine where you can walk barefoot outside, do it. Yeah. Be connected to the sand, connected to the dirt, put your hands in the dirt, garden, toil. These are all wonderful ways to connect to that earth element. There are, in terms of crystals, you don't necessarily need to know, like there's tourmaline, there's sugnite, there's obsidian, there's hematite, there's carnelian, there's red jasper, there's agate. There's a lot of different crystals that you can be using. Think red or black in terms of your crystals. Those are going to ground you and keep you connected to the root chakra. In terms of oils, you're going to think of you've got those cinnamons, you've got those cloves, you've got peppermint, you've got pine. These are like earthy, patchouli. These are earthy smells. These are connecting you to that energy of the earth. So you can, anything that smells like turmeric is great because it's like these are root vegetables, right? Turmeric is a root vegetable. So turmeric's a great oil for this essential oil. So many different blends you can use. I create a different blend that has a number of different blends in it to harmonize through the whole process. I'll send you a list of more oils that you can use. In terms of yoga poses, anything that's going to be down on the ground or floor work is going to be really good for this. Even just simply sitting Indian style, Shavasana, like right on the floor, like there you go. That's a beautiful way to start. I personally, for the root chakra, love to work with warrior pose. That's also a wonderful one for the solar plexus. Cobra, anything that's down on the ground, getting you in your spine, in your back, connecting you down to the earth. Beautiful. The tree pose, absolutely. Anything that will ground you down into the earth, absolutely. So, in terms of sound and frequencies, YouTube is such a blessing. You can Google root chakra and you can go on YouTube and they can send you frequencies. Like 398 hertz is usually around what you're going to be finding for the root chakra. But I would also like to take a moment to recommend while you're doing this program is to start taking notice of what's called the Schumann frequency. The Schumann frequency is called the heartbeat of the earth. There are apps where you can actually track fluctuations in the Schumann. And if you go on YouTube, you can hear the frequency of the Schumann, which sounds kind of almost like white noise, but it's at the frequency that the earth is emitting right now. So in terms of earthing and grounding, this is a great way to ground your energy is by listening to the actual vibration of the earth. You also might notice that with the Schumann frequency, and I have a whole section on what is the Schumann and how does it work, when there are solar flares or different biochemical responses in the earth's atmosphere, we will feel it in our physical body. And that's a beautiful thing to start noticing is how connected we truly are to the earth. So if you're feeling yucky, if your ears are ringing, if you're tired, if you're nauseous, it could be a Schumann spike. So again, that just gives you that awareness of, oh, I'm so connected to the earth, and you start to see yourself as part of that process. In terms of music, anything with drums is really going to connect you to the root chakra. If you have a drum at home, pull it out, play with it, play with those drums, play with the rattles, play with the shakers, really connect into that deep beat of the earth. That's a really wonderful grounding way. Anything that you can do with your feet, walking, running, dancing with your feet is a wonderful way to just ground. You're getting energy out, you're moving your body, you're connecting to Mother Earth. It's all part of that process. It's all part of that connection of like realizing that you are body and spirit and that you can connect in that moment, right? Other things that you might want to do right now while you're getting ready is to start thinking about meal preps and meal plannings. When you are in the root chakra, this is my advice. Meats, kind of think the keto, the paleo world right now, like those diets, anything that you can Google that's like keto or paleo is going to be right up the alley of what you want for the root chakra. You do want to, as much as possible, start pulling that sugar out of your coffee. Now, for me, sugar in my coffee was a big thing. So if you drink sugar in your coffee, during this week alone, for every scoop of sugar you put in your coffee, put an extra scoop in a clear jar or mason jar or cup, so you can see actually how much sugar you're drinking in a week just based on what you put in your coffee. So for every cup of coffee and every scoop of sugar you put in there, put one in this container. So you have a visual idea of how much sugar you're putting in your body. I'll tell you, when I did that for me, it made me stop putting sugar in my coffee. I do every once in a while as a treat here and there, but that extra sugar in your coffee is going to be adding up. Through this experience, we are going to go from coffee to decaf to tea, and we're going to get off of caffeine. Again, if you can't do that, if you have a high stress job and you drive a school bus or something and you need to have your coffee, drink the coffee. I'm not saying don't. I want you to just be aware and mindful. So you might be like, okay, so every time I drink my coffee, I'm connecting to the root chakra. No problem. But that just, you're mindful of it. You understand why you need that stimulant, why you need that connection, right? So sugar is something you really don't need. So we're going to be talking about, I will talk frankly about my love with sugar and all things sweet. I'm a sweet girl, so I like so that's one reason why I do the chakra program a lot for myself too, because I'm not going to stop eating dessert. It's not going to happen. I love dessert. But if I don't have it all the time, then that's a plus for me. So like I said, chakratarian, I'm working through the chakras, and I'm connecting to them in different ways. So I will send a recipe list out to you so you can kind of see what the different foods are for the chakras. In general, as a nutshell, the root chakra is going to be red meats and proteins and root vegetables. The sacral chakra is going to be chicken and crustaceans like shrimp. It is going to be orange vegetables, carrots, sweet potatoes, a lot of beta carotene, good for the eyes, right? Solar plexus is going to be just fish, right? No crustaceans, no chicken, no red meat, but you will be allowed and encouraged to experience carbs. So it's like fish and bread and grains in the solar plexus. So different energetically when you eat it and when you put it into your body. Then you move up to the heart chakra, and at that point, there is no meat, no fish, no crustaceans. You are just eating green leafy vegetables, though don't worry too much at that point for eggs and dairy, because when you move up to the throat chakra, your throat chakra is going to be vegan. So at that point, you're going to go with no dairy, with no eggs, with no honey. So you're kind of pulling those out. So you see how your energetically, your energy is changing as you move up. Now, your third eye chakra is going to be primarily juicing. So you're going to be doing more you can do salads, you can do anything raw, you can do any vegetables, any fruits, a lot of putting things through a juicer, and you're kind of getting your nutrients that way. So at that point, you're not focusing on food, you're focusing on nutrients, right? Then your crown chakra, as you move up, is going to be mainly broths and fasting. And you'll do that for however many days you can do that. I do suggest 3 days if you can, or at least do like a small meal in the morning and then fast throughout the day until the nighttime. So you have just a little bit less food. And I'll work you through all of that as you go. Now, the foods as you go through, you'll notice there's a lot of foods that have red, that are root vegetables, that are protein. You're going to notice a lot of fruits and vegetables that are orange, a lot that are yellow, a lot that are green. You start getting into the blues, you start to go, there's a lot less food here. So your relationship to food is already changing and moving as you go through. So this is an embodiment program. You are going to wear the clothes. You are going to use the oils. You're going to connect with the crystals. You're going to do the yoga. You're going to listen to the frequency sounds. You're going to do the affirmations, the guided meditations. You're going to be eating with the food that's connected to it, and so on and so on. Like I said in the very beginning, if you connect to the food and that's what vibes for you, go for it. If the color is not working for you, don't worry about it, right? Or if it's for you, like the color really connects and it makes sense to you, like I can wear these colors and I can do that, then do that. And then a little bit with the food here and there, see what you can do. The one thing that I personally need to remind myself of is it's not about perfection. It's about intention. So don't come into this thinking you have to be perfect. Don't come into this thinking, wow, there's so much to do. Am I ever going to be able to do it? Because it doesn't matter. We have a whole lifetime to do all these things. And you can redo the program and you can do different aspects whenever you want. And I've done this program like since 2008 myself. I've done it in so many different ways. I've done it by the week, by the day, by the month, by the year. So many different iterations of healing for myself. This is going to give you keys and tools for your spiritual toolkit that you can use however you want as you move forward. I will be a support system for you. I'm really just sharing information that I've received over the years. And you might have some information to add to me. Like you might know a lot about mudras, and maybe I know just the basics. So teach me. I'm here to learn as well. We're all connected. This is just how I learned how, especially as a healer, to really understand and know what the root chakra was in myself. And then it helped me as a healer to come in and be able to really understand, what is the root chakra? What is it saying? What is it feeling? Where is it in the body? And that helped me become a better healer, which is what I hope for all of us that do this program. So lots of talking. I tend to do that. Following this, I will send you an email with some information and some bullet points that we've talked about today. I have a Facebook group. I will be posting information in the Facebook group. If you go back, you can scroll all the way through and you can see different posts that are connected to the different chakras. So you can spend some time on there as well. I'll be sending you a playlist from YouTube that has a whole bunch of different videos, some of which are similar to this that you just watched today, with just from different classes that I've taught before. So you can watch those, you could see how they go. I have a video on how to work with crystals. I have a video on how to work with oils. I have a video on a lot of different topics, and you can just kind of go through and see what works best for you. But like I said, this week is really just about intention. Going through your home, organizing your clothes, looking at your food, kind of setting that intention and journaling about it. Like, I'm so excited about learning about these chakras. I'm so excited about really grounding in my energy and knowing what these centers feel like in my body. It's just about anchoring in right now. It's about really getting ready and getting that foundation solid. If you have to eat anyway right now, eat for the root chakra. My one suggestion, like I said, is just to try to start noticing sugar and where you use that in your diet. And anytime you put sugar in a recipe or anytime you put sugar in your coffee, put it in a bowl. So by the end of the week, you can have an observable amount to see how much sugar you eat in a week. If you're anything like me, next week, that'll be your first tackle, is getting rid of that sugar that goes in there. And that includes Splenda or monk fruit or whatever sweetener thing that you are doing. Whatever it is, just keep a visual record of it so you can start taking note, and we can start working on pulling that out as we go too. Okay. Did you have any questions, or are you feeling pretty good? Feeling pretty good. All right. So that being said, thank you so much. I'm going to end recording. Keep me posted. I'll be here for you if you need anything throughout the whole entire process. We'll be working on it. We'll be able to connect and get you where you need to go, whatever that is, whatever your intention is. I'd love to hear it. So I want to support you in that journey. Thanks so much.